I'm just making some rosti potatoes. So I've grated 3 potatoes already, and I'm just grating the 4th potato now. So this is going to be enough to serve 4 people on the large side of the grater. And then I'm going to place the grated potato into a colander. I'm going to rinse it under some cold water to get rid of the excess starch in the potatoes. Give that a good rinse. You can see the white coloured water coming out, and now, as most of the excess starch has gone, the water is now starting to run clear. Squeeze the excess water out with my hands, and then I'm going to bring back over onto the work surface. I've got a clean tea towel here, so I'm going to pour the potatoes out onto my tea towel. Fold them in the tea towel. I'm going to squeeze as much water out as I can to make sure they're as dry as is absolutely possible. There's still more water coming out. Now I'm going to get a bowl. Dry potatoes out. And to add some seasoning. If you wanted to have garlic flavoured potatoes, you'd put in some crushed or grated garlic at this point, but obviously after you've rinsed them under the tap. I'm just going to drizzle some rapeseed oil over the potatoes and massage that in so that all the bits of potatoes are nicely coated in oil. Rapeseed oil is quite a deep yellowy colour, so you can tell when it's coated the potatoes because they slightly change colour, so you know if you've missed a bit. And then I've got a baking sheet here that I've just lined with some reusable non-stick parchment. I'm going to spread the potatoes out on the tray. Now these potatoes tend to get overly cooked on the outside, so we will in a thin layer, and then we'll go around and just put the thinner bits in, so you've almost got a slight ridge on the outside so they don't overcook. And then they're ready to pop in a hot oven at between 200 to 220, or the top of your roasting oven of an Aga, for approximately 30 minutes until they're crispy and golden on the outside and still slightly soft on the inside. So to go with my cod, I'm going to char grill some asparagus. So I prepared these earlier. So with asparagus, you just break off the ends, and that gets rid of they naturally break at the woody part of the asparagus, which is the bit that's a bit chewy to eat. I prepared some tender stem broccoli and some garlic, which I'm going to cook the cod with. So I'm just going to crush garlic to get the peel off. and then take the end off and then just slice this finely. So the first thing we're going to do is char grill the asparagus. I don't have room in my griddle pan to cook both the cod and the asparagus, so I'm going to char grill the asparagus first and then transfer it to another tray to cook. So my griddle pan is now nice and hot, so I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of this spray oil, which is fantastic, and then just place the asparagus in the griddle pan just to start char cooking. So the asparagus is just starting to cook, so I'm just going to turn it over so that we get the char grilling on all sides. Add a couple of twists of pepper. See. Turn, and we're just starting to take on a char grilled look, so I'm going to transfer them onto my roasting tin to put into the oven with the cod in a few minutes. I have a lovely piece of cod fillet, middle cut, that I bought from the market in Farmers Market in Uppingham from Kavanagh's and Son, who managed to find beautiful English cod. It's a really lovely fresh piece of middle cod that I'm going to roast. Living in the middle of England in Leicestershire, it's quite an achievement to be able to get hold of such beautifully fresh fish. I'm just massaging the outside of the cod with the oil. Last time I did this, I put the oil in the pan and ended up splashing myself with the oil. So I'm not going to do that again. So I've learnt my lesson, and I'm going to massage the oil into the oil and garlic into the cod. I'm just going to put a little bit of pepper on there, and then that's ready to cook. So I'm going to put my cod straight into the pan onto the griddles. And I'm going to leave that there for a few minutes so it actually takes on the lines from the griddle. So I'm now going to turn the cod over with lovely brown colour. Some of the garlic's come off to the bottom, but that's fine because that will flavour the cod from underneath. And we've got garlic on top. I'm going to put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long to cook. And please, please don't overcook this beautiful fish. So the cod's going into the oven, and then I'm going to put the asparagus in probably in about 4 minutes time, because it won't take quite so long to cook. My roasted potatoes come out of the oven. It's beautifully golden, and as I said to you, it always cooks slightly more on the outside than in the middle. So we're going to cut this up ready to go with our cod. So I'm going to cut it into squares and then across. Again, it doesn't matter if it breaks a little bit because it just adds to the rustic sort of look. You can cut this to any shape. If you want to make it into round shapes, you can use a big pastry cutter. And then that can go back into the oven just for a few minutes, just to heat through, so it's ready to be nice and piping hot when you serve your cod. So the cod has just come out of the oven, and I can feel with my finger it is just giving underneath my. Smells good. It's just giving under my finger, so I know it is nicely cooked. Okay, so we're going to plate this up, and I'm going to put some of the tender stem on the bottom of the plate. to cut a piece of the fillet off and pull it off the skin, which will be greatly received by Paddington, our black Labrador. Pop the cod on top. And I'm going to put some of the charred asparagus on there as well. Whoops! And some of the potato. Then you have a lovely piece of